Top of the day to you all. I welcome you guys to this great channel, Ini TV. Ephraim Naruna Imafidon Idusuge TV. We are global and social commentators. With that, I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. Today, we want to talk about why marriages fail. What are those factors responsible for divorce? What are those things we need to take into cognizance when we're talking about relationships? I want to quickly say that Justin Dean and Cora Obidi will beginning to see some bright moves. They are beginning to de-escalate the tension. Justin Dean, I will say, has raised the white flag up, and that's a positive sign that things are beginning to calm down. But I don't know if they will come back. But at least let them be friends for the benefit of those kids. So today, that aside, today we want to talk about 10 key points that are responsible for divorce. 10 major points why a marriage would not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I am not the best person to preach or to talk about why marriages break up, because if we talk about my marriage, I will say I am still a baby in marriage. I am learning. But I've listened to a lot of marriage couples express their opinion, tell their pains, and this have been one of the factors that have pushed me to making this video, because marriage is a thing that every man desire. I know most men are praying every day, God, give me a good family. How will you get a good family if it's not through marriage? And a lot of women too are also praying, oh, I want a man of my dream. So that is why we're making this video. We want to say 10 key points. 10 key points. I'm going to start randomly. It's not as if the number one is the greatest. No, just randomly. Communication. First of all, lack of communication. You see, marriage is a union between two people. In this case study, two opposite sex. So there have to be communication. It's like a contract. There have to be do's and don'ts. There have to be what it's expected of you as a man, and what you are expecting to from your partner, vice versa. So the first on our list is lack of communication. Sometimes, because these couples are newly wedded, your wife might do some certain things that you don't like, and you keep quiet. No, I'm not saying you should go about it in a very uncivic way. No, you can call her, even when you are on the bed. You call her, you say, honey, this is why what you did yesterday, this is why I don't like it. You give her your own approach, your own way of thinking. Not just telling her your own way of thinking, you allow her to to express her own opinion. She might even be convincing and let you know this is why I did it. So there have to be communication. It's very important. And when there is this communication gap, there could be some misunderstanding. Like, for example, you had a phone call from your boss, who, of course, is a lady preparing for maybe a party at work, and you didn't tell your partner. She mistakenly flipped through your phone and she saw the message you have written. Because there is this lack of communication, it breeds another ingredient that is very important in marriage, and that is lack of trust. The lady no longer trusts you. She's skeptical. Am I sure he is not playing pranks on me? And now that he has beginning to send messages to his boss, who of course is a lady, and worst of all, probably she's unmarried, your wife will start thinking. And now she starts searching for proof where there is none. It's vice versa too. She starts looking for dents. She starts looking for signs. And God forbid, one day you came home late and you said, there's this work in our work and we just decided to finish it so we can start a clean sheet on Monday. And she's going to ask, you and who? Of course, my boss. Whoa. She will conclude. And when there is lack of trust, it brings lack of respect. And when there is no respect, there is no loyalty. This is where the third point is important. You have to be psychologically ready. Marriage is not a paradise. It's not a playground. You have to be psychologically ready. You have to be a psychologist. Once you notice her countenance change, if she's not happy with you, she might not say it because she don't really have a proof, but her countenance might change. And that is where you, as a psychology, maybe the way she welcome you, she hug you, you begin to look, okay, something is wrong. Then you begin to make up to her, trying to get her speak up. And maybe she will just reveal, I don't like the way you're staying too long in the office. And that is when you come out and explain everything to her. Another psychologically could be your ability to also tolerate her, take trash, listen to her. You know what I mean? You're psychologically mature to pick. Because definitely one must offend the other. And your ability to pick the offense, like, it's normal. Let's just try and make up. And this psychologically could also lead to another point, which is the fourth point, which is emotional maturity. And now that you are psychologically disturbed, you begin to get emotion. You might come back home and you are not so close to her. And this is exactly what she has envisaged. And now that you are not close, you will say, okay, my suspicion is true. So emotionally, because of the psychological effect, the emotional part comes in. Positively or negatively, if she begin to be a little bit skeptical of you, you are bound to react somehow. We are all human beings, we are sensitive, and you begin to react funnily, which of course she might misinterpret that whole probably is seeing another guy outside. You know what I mean? So that is also very important. Another point is the finance, or what we call economy. Before you go into marriage, you have to be economically stable. You have to be economically stable. It's important. Chase says, Harley Chase says, you are dead without money. Your marriage is dead without money. So money is important. Another point that is very important too, I don't want to emphasize much on that money, sex because life. Most of us know it's very. How is your sex life? You see, sometimes this one happen when the man is getting to between 45 and 50. The sex appeal diminish. Watch my video. I have made a video on this titled Women 40 plus are sexually active. Watch my video, it will explain this. That is when the sex appeal for the woman increases, and if you are not able to match, there is a problem there, and that could lead to infidelity, which of course can also lead to the breakup of marriage. Another one that I have to let you guys know is career. That's your career, your work, and your kids too. Children too could also split marriages. How? I have had a couple explain to me that their problem started when the wife gave birth to their first child. 6 months after that child was born, the man, this is where psychologically and emotion maturity comes in. The man said the wife transferred the love that the wife has for him to the child. Everything now centered around the child. The child now became the life of the woman. She thinks about the child. Everything was for the child. And she neglected the husband. It is true that children at that age, toddler, need the presence of their mom. It's very important. But a good wife must be able to balance it. Because your husband too needs love too. Don't say he's a grown-up, he's an adult, he does not need love. No. If you don't share that love between that child and the husband, the man will go crazy. I will tell you this. Men are weaker than women when it comes to emotion and psychological maturity. That's true. Another one that is very similar to this child career of a thing is time. This is the number 8. Time. You have to dedicate time. Don't say, I don't have time for your spouse. You have to dedicate time. We've seen a lot of businessmen, when the career has improved, he travels. He's always on the road trying to make sure that the business succeeds. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to dedicate time for your wife. If you're the woman, you have to dedicate time for your husband too. Time is also very important, because if you don't dedicate time, there is that possibility that she might mistakenly step out with friends to just to while away the time, and before she know it, somebody might begin to knock on her door, and if she or he is not careful, he will open the door, and before you know it, it's number 9, mess up. In-laws, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. You all know what I am trying to say here. External factors, or what we call external influence. How will you allow your wife to do this? How will you allow your wife to do that? You are giving too much liberty to this woman. Or why would your husband go on certain trip without giving you enough money? You know, things like that will crop up, and the partner will begin to feel victimized, cheated, and before you know it, it has sprung to a very big fight. The last that we are going to say, because most of our viewers are not only Africans, we've got viewers from the United States, from Canada, from South Americans too. We've got viewers from Europe, from Asia. So the culture or the background is important. The culture of one race and another is different. We've talked about this. So like what we are saying, sometimes one of this factor is enough to split marriage. It does not have to be all. Just one, because most of these factors are interwoven. It's like a chain. Before you know it, the couple or the marriage is messed up. And that is why these little things should not be taken for granted. Husband, wife, please don't take little things for granted. When you notice your wife is angry over some certain things, even if they are insignificant, let her talk it over. If you have to go midway to make her happy, do it. It does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are being used. It does not mean you are selfish. Sacrifice is also very important. I remember the judge that jailed Mike Tyson. Remember when he had the case? When he came out, a lot of people said, Don King is using you. Mike Tyson said, it's normal. It's normal Don King use me and I use him too, as long as we don't misuse ourselves. It is normal that your wife use you. It is normal that you use your wife. I will say, as long as you don't misuse your spouse. With that, we say, this is INI TV. We are global and social commentators. If it's the first time you're coming across this video, subscribe to our channel. And after you subscribe, just press the notification bell button. And each time we upload videos, it comes directly to you. And for our returning subscribers, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. We're one big family. We love you, but God loves you most. And as it is the culture here, we will catch you when we make another video. Until then, adios, ciao, chooks, au revoir, hasta la vista. Thank you.